Happy Easter, everyone. This is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I just wanted to pop in today and share a few digitals with you, do a really simple make, but because it is Easter, this video may be a little sporadic because I'm going to have to stop and come back, because I am cooking dinner. These are some of the most recent digitals that are available on Patreon or our Friday freebies in the Facebook group or our Craft Lab Tech perks that are available, and I'll tell you which ones are which as we go. So this first one is a perk for the Scrapcraftastic patrons. So all levels receive this dashboard on Good Friday, I think. It's a half letter size, similar to the ones that I do for the Facebook group, and I just thought it was a nice, subtle Easter themed look. Then we get into more of a colorful, traditional Easter look, and this is the Friday freebie from the Facebook group. Again, it's half letter with 1/8 inch bleed. Then I took that and created cards. So if you're a member of the Craft Lab, and I'll put the links to everything in the description box below, the Facebook group, Patreon, and how to join the Craft Lab, which is the YouTube memberships. I have started doing note cards. So this is a note card using the Freebie Friday graphic. Okay, and I just printed these on regular cardstock. I get the cardstock from Walmart, but you could probably use any cardstock. If you wanted it to be even more vibrant, you could print on photo paper cardstock. And I know they have that at Walmart because I've picked up some before. But this is the card, and then I went back to a previous Freebie Friday in the Facebook group and created a card from this one as well. Even though this one is kind of Easter specific, and I'm showing it to you on Easter Sunday, and it probably won't be released until Easter Sunday, you also have this to play with throughout the spring. Pretty much any time of year, I think this would be nice. So there's that. Then these are the envelopes. I printed them on 32-pound paper. So this is the Easter version, the Happy Easter. And then this one is in the garden. These will be available in the Scrapcraftastic Facebook group. They're going up today, actually. So by the time you see this, they will be there. All right. Now these are the ones that I released to the Craft Lab Techs. So, and I used the spring release to create these. These are the cards printed on cardstock. And then these are the envelopes. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my cobbler started and then I will come back. I need to cut out the envelopes, cut out the cards. I'll record a little bit of that process. I think I'll start with these. I'll record a little bit of that for you to see how simple it is to do. And then we will put them together. So just a little make, okay? So since I've already cut off my cut marks, and I have to do it that way if I'm using this trimmer, I'm going to measure. These cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So if you need the measurements, that is what they are. So let's see which is the best side to do this with. I'm going to measure it because I don't have any trim marks left. And I might have cut off a little bit too much bleed, but we're going to work with it. And then I'm just going to mark right here where I need to cut. So that's one of the issues I have with this, is I can only do up to a certain size. But I like it because it's small and fits on my desk. So I think I cut that pretty much right. Let's go ahead and do in the garden. Maybe I should start putting the names on the back. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I also could go ahead and mark where I need to cut, but I'm okay with measuring it as I go. Now this one gives me a bit of a guide because I didn't cut all of the cut mark off. Now I'm not a card maker, but based on what I've looked up, these are A2 size cards and A2 size envelopes. I might have to trim off a little more on the bottom to get this where I want it. So I'm going to trim right here and right here. That'll give me 5.5. Now if you're using like a Fiskars paper trimmer, you won't have to do this if you don't trim the excess off completely. And I've done that in previous videos. Okay, so now we have our card bases. I need to go ahead and cut these out, and then we will assemble everything. So these are cut. Next step will be to fold or score, fold, and assemble them. You don't need a scoreboard to do this, but I think it's a good idea to use one. These are not exactly cut the same, but it's fine. Okay, and then we have these. This is the scoreboard that I use. It's a little dirty because it gets glue on it a lot. I need to clean it, but should I clean it now? I think I'll clean it now, and then we'll come back, okay? Let me put this out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. I'm gonna clean this and we'll be right back. So my board is pretty clean. It's got discoloration, I guess because it's so old. Anywho, let's start with the cards because they're the easiest. Basically, you can just fold them in half or score them at 4 1/4. So, and there will be a little line of color on the back side because I left room for the color to wrap around so that you wouldn't end up with any white on the front of the card, if that makes sense. If you look at greeting cards or note cards that you have, you'll see that the color generally wraps around the back just a little bit. Okay, let's score that. Burnish it. So that's our card. Open it up, put what you want on the inside, and then there's the back. So this is really intended to be a base for you to decorate and make it your own. So this one is a little short because I went a little cut happy. Oh, I guess it would help if I was in frame. All right, so I'm scoring at 4 1/4. And then I'm folding in half and burnishing. When you score, if you are scoring, and I do, if you don't have a scoreboard, I do have a video showing you how you can score without a scoreboard. I'll link to it in the iCard up above and in the description box below. When you score, you create a valley, okay? A dip in the paper when you score. You should score on the side that you intend to be the actual outside of the fold. So I scored here, made a valley. When I fold it, I make a mountain. Does that make sense? So it would seem like you would fold against the valley, but no, you fold opposite of the valley to make a mountain. Hopefully that makes sense. So those are the cards. Now with the envelopes, it's a little tricky. You can use cardstock for the envelopes. I do a lot of junk journals and I don't like the extra bulk in my journals when I do envelopes. So I tend to use paper. 32 pound, 28 pound, 24 pound paper. You could even use 20 pound, but it's very thin. I would recommend a heavier weight paper. So I used to always wonder, why do people have a line drawn down the middle of their scoreboard? Well, for things like this. So I generally make my flaps or the tabs 1/2 inch. But if you're not confident in your cutting and you might cut it a little off, I suggest doing it this way. So sorry about my bracelet. Okay, so I would line up this intersection of these 3 pieces with the line that I drew up top and at the bottom. So when you have that line drawn on your board, you can see easily how to line this up to score it. So, and then I can just score down that line. So I don't have to measure anything. All I have to do is line those intersections up, and then that folds easily. Again, I made a valley. I turned that valley into a mountain. So I'm making a valley on this side. I probably need to come back in and draw my line a little darker since I scrubbed the board. Let's see. So I'm lining up those intersections. And really, this doesn't take this long. I'm just trying to go a little slower so I can show you. Same thing here. I'm lining up where I want to score, top and bottom. Fold that over. And then here, you see the line. And you can use a stylus or a bone folder to do this. I think the bone folder works best with paper, and you don't risk poking a hole in the paper as much as you do with the stylus. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let's do the other one before we burnish. Just gonna start here and work my way around, I guess. Nope, let's do the flaps first. If I did that one right, that looked a little off. Might have to fudge that one a little bit when I fold it. All right. So we are done with the scoreboard. Yeah, I did a little bit off, but I think it'll be fine. Okay. And if you are into the inking, you can ink these as well. What did I get on the back of my paper? What is this? I got something on the paper. Oh, the desk was still wet. Yikes. Okay. I forgot the back of the scoreboard was wet, so it wet the paper. Yikes. Let me wipe one more time, make sure. Well, that one is ruined a little bit. Hopefully when it dries, it won't be noticeable. Let's do this end. Just make sure it's wet right there. Okay, so I'm going to burnish these folds carefully, even where it's wet. Okay, so that's the back. This is the front. You got room to write here. You can put a stamp. Again, I'm not 100% sure that you can mail these. So I guess you could ask at the post office. And I think it would depend on the weight of paper that you use as well. So this is the back. This is the front. And if you wanted something on the inside, you could print another pattern. I do have some backing papers in my other shop at Journal Life's Journey that you could use, and I may create a series of backing papers and offer them for these cards, or I might start including a backing paper with the cards. All right, so let's go ahead and glue. I'm not even gonna test the card. We're just gonna glue these. I think it's best to run the glue along the edge of the bottom flap, the piece that's gonna make the pocket. And you can use whatever your favorite glue is. You could use tape, double-sided tape. You could use tape runner. I'm using glue because I just have it right here. And this is art glitter glue. It dries extremely fast. So it's pretty good for things like this. where you don't have to worry about repositioning anything. All right, let's close that up so it won't clog, because it will clog really easily as well. Okie doke. Okay, the water dried. It's not so noticeable. So this card slides in here. Let's hope. There we go. All nice and colorful. This card slides in here. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so these are the assembled note cards. Happy Easter. And in the garden, you also have the ones I showed earlier available to the Craft Lab text. These will be in the Facebook group, available as a freebie. So be sure to check them out. Patrons, I will go ahead and post this in the Patreon for you to access there. All right. Let me know in the comments how you would use these. Will you be mailing them? Will you be giving them with gifts, or just giving them to a friend with a note inside? You could even give a little cash in them. Let me know what you think. You could do a bundle of them and give them as a gift, actually. That would be nice. Maybe I'll come up with a box for these. Do you think that's a good idea? I could do a box where you could have a box set of them. I could make a template for the box. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you may be interested in this other video. Please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.